Um, awesome. And if you want to bring up the slides. Now, I do want to just quickly shout out and say, we used to always do shout outs in the beginning, like randomly. And I'm going to bring a shout out back because Laura just locked in her second month of Success Starter. She just needs one more month and she is getting a free ticket to Summit. And so
you can do it.
Thanks, guys.
Super awesome.
Pumped about the test group. Hopefully it's,
do you think it would be Joel's? Like, do you think if she gets it this month, do you think she would still be able to slide into that, or would it be something different? I know they're starting some stuff now, but I didn't know because of like the next thing, like what she would be. I was like, I didn't know where.
I don't know either.
So
Robin, who's the guy that we just worked out with? What was his name?
Amwala.
He's hot. I'm really hoping he finds something new.
Okay.
Well, he hinted at he was coming out with something new, so we'll see.
Okay.
Say. Or who's this new mystery person for Summit? Is there a new trainer we don't know about that's coming, or is there something? I don't know. All right, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to get started and we are going to fire away questions as we go. But tonight, I know the past couple calls, we've been talking a lot about kind of inviting. And inviting's always going to be probably just a lot of it is just your growth of like you feeling comfortable and having a lot of those conversations to feel comfortable with how you speak to those objections. And I hope in the threads when we're doing these action taker like thread, when people are posting and even in Empowered Elite, like conversations that they're having or questions, I think it's really great to share them there because if you have the question, everyone else has the question. And I think it's really great for everyone to kind of learn and hear different ways people might respond to the same question because we all have a different take. No right or wrong. It's just kind of what works for us. And I think that it's really helpful for everyone to be able to do that because truly we know that if you have zero time in the day practically and the only thing you can do is spend X amount of minutes on something, it's got to be inviting because inviting is where you're going to grow, and without it you're not going to grow. So keep posting in there any questions you have. Post, I know Dana did a pinned post in Empowered Elite of like conversation stuff, so if you want to just screenshot that, tag us, and we can kind of go in and be able to help you out there. But let's keep going with the inviting kind of questions so we can get you.
Kelly, I just want to say, if you don't know where she's referencing, if you can see when you're in our team page, it's always right here at the top is the pinned announcements. That's like the SC pin, and it's right here. It says convos. So that's what you're looking for if you want to share and ask for help.
Just tag us though, because then we won't see it if you don't. There's too many things that go off. All right, guys, so you're inviting, right? That's number one. And so now because you're inviting and you're showing up and you're just being consistent, you're now adding people to your team, whether it's as customers, whether it's as preferred customers or active coaches, but your team is growing, which is huge and so exciting. And now the question I know as we were kind of throwing out there is, all right, so I signed someone up, like, what do I do from there? Like, where do I go? So we're going to tell you, and we'll kind of chime in on what we're doing. Once again, see what works for you, what vibes with you. It doesn't mean our way is the right way, but I'll share with you what I do, and then Dana will, and we probably are pretty similar in a lot of the things that we do. Just in take number one, if you want any of the stuff that we have, if you don't have it, just let us know and we'll send it to you. Most of our stuff is all duplicatable so that it can make it easy for you to just put your name on it, do whatever you need to do to it, but nothing crazy. So someone signs up with me. What I typically do is that day, that day, they know nothing without you sharing, right? What to do. They know nothing. So I send them a welcome getting started email. It is the exact same email, what I do, no matter what they're doing. I have my getting started, which is, and I don't even know, would that even open? Will that even open if you click on it now? I know and I don't know because I'm not driving it. So I made this for my crew, so all they had to do is add, their names, but it shows them how to access the nutrition programs. It shows them how to access their BOD. It lets them know their body is only there for a month and shows them how to cancel it if they want to. So you're not getting 1,001 messages on it. It covers everything that would be a potential part of the challenge pack, whether they chose Shakeology, it's in there, and the recipe ebook. Whether they chose Performance Line, it goes over Performance Line, or if they did Go and Glow, it does all of that. So once again, simplified, so you're not having a million different places or things to go, and it gives you a link and access to my groups. So right then and there, they get all this information. That goes out day one to them, okay? From there, I personally introduce everyone that starts in my group. So as soon as they've added themselves to the groups, I like to give them a shout out and introduce them to the accountability groups, just posting their picture. I always ask them, like, share a little bit about yourself that you're okay with me sharing to the group, because I want them to feel a part of the community, and I want them to be like shine, like, all right, everyone, give them some love. They're brand new to our group, so they can really have that connection within the group. Dana, do you do any, I was going to say, chime in there on what you're doing.
I was just going to say, now that you say that, I'm like, I have been so bad. I always used to just like put a separate post in the page and tag them. But I think it's even cool, like, if you share a little bit about them, like what they're starting with, not like too much information, but you just say like, welcome to the community. I think that's really big, because I think sometimes when the community is kind of like ours, the one that's ongoing, kind of like pop people in there and they like see everything going on, but they don't necessarily feel like a part of it yet. So I like the idea of bringing back something that's more of like an introduction, get to know the crew.
Yeah.
Maybe we could come up with some kind of like pin post we could all use for that. Anyways, getting started right email. When Kelly created that, I literally made the same document of the same template, but I also have an email template. I save everything in Google Docs. If I can give you one suggestion, it is like learn how to use Google Documents, because it always saves. You can go in and edit it. They're all in one place. You can access it from anywhere. I will often go in and like create a new document and just copy paste something and like tweak it to what I want it to be when something changes or a new program comes out, or it's a follow-up for a different challenge group or whatever it is. So when I send a welcome email, I personally send an actual email that I have typed up that's like, hey, welcome, I'm so grateful you've entrusted me to be your coach and guide you through this journey. Is there anything that I need to know from you, how I can best help you achieve your goals in the next 30, 90 days? Like, what is it that you're going to be working on the next 3 months? And then I also attach what we just showed you, that getting started right PDF document. And then I shoot them a message, whether it's like text, Facebook, wherever I was talking to them, Instagram, and I let them know, hey, I just sent you a welcome email. I want you to like sit down when you have 10 or 15 minutes and like read through everything I sent you, because it's going to answer a lot of the questions you might have. Because I don't know about you guys, like once in a while you'll sign somebody up and like as soon as it arrives, you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 15 questions in your inbox of like, I don't know where to find my nutrition. Where is the food list? What do I do with these containers, right? How do I make a shake? And if they actually sit down and read through this and you have this as a system, it saves you so much time and energy that you don't have to like repeat the same answers over and over and over, because you're literally putting it right there in a pretty little package. It gives them everything that they need to have success getting started. So
if you guys don't have anything, and I do have one just for BOD people. So those that have just signed up for BOD, I have the same thing, obviously way simplified and smaller. And then I have one just for Shakeology as well, those that are getting Shakeology. So if any of you guys need any of those, just shoot me a message with your email and I'll send it your way, because I think the only thing people need to change is their name. And then maybe on a couple of them, maybe a picture or two. But other than that, you can take it and fly and run with it. And once again, save time. And you can use, what I think this is really helpful is as you're building your own teams as well, is you can have something like this that's easy that you can then give to your active coaches. They aren't going to have to worry about putting all these things together and being super overwhelmed when their true focus should be building their team and inviting. So making these duplicatable things that are just super easy, you can tailor it however you want to make it you. But this is a nice thing to be able to once again say, oh, we already have that in place for you, you know, as you're adding people. All righty. So
Kelly, I just want to add on to that about how you said like it takes a little time. I think with anything system wise, like having a system of like, how do you keep track of your customers? Like, where are you putting them? Are you sending an email? Like, what's your process for that? It might seem a little tricky at first and take you a little bit of time up front, but once you have that system in place, it saves you so much time and you can do things so much more efficiently. So what might take you like an hour and a half right now might take you 30 minutes down the road once you have these simple systems, because you don't have to do it, retype it, send it one by one, answer each question separately, right? Like you can fly through the things that you need to get done and you feel so efficient once you have systems in place. So
totally.
take the time. Yeah.
And for you guys now, being like, you're just getting people, like getting those systems in place now to like add like a person, an email and all this stuff, as we're going to talk about, like on Streak, Dana and I use Streak a lot. So we'll talk about it in a few, but doing that now is going to make it like so easy to input their information versus we started this when we had input like hundreds and hundreds. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So just do it now because you're going to thank yourself later.
Yeah. And I would say, I'll talk about the email stuff at the end, but I just want to say like, I was not taught to like create an email system or keep track of things like that at first. Like I literally, you guys would laugh, but when I started my business 8 years ago, I had lists on my wall, paper lists that I would write people's name on, like what month I signed them up, what they signed up with. Like I did pen to paper tracking for years, probably 2 years, until someone was like, you gotta like keep track of this email somewhere. You can't like check in on people one by one. And the other thing is, when people fall off, it is natural that some people go inactive or they quit or whatever. A lot of people that come back to me now are people that like fell off 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, and they need to get started again. The only way that I have stayed in contact with them is because I started using an email system and I plug them in when they sign up. So if they go MIA or they cancel or like something happens in their life, I always have a way to go back and reconnect. And a lot of people come back that way. So it still irks me that there's probably a ton of people from those first couple of years that I didn't do that I lost along the way that I could have stayed connected with in some capacity had I started it from the get-go. So like start the email system.
Okay, so we send them a welcome email. That's obviously number one. Like I said, I introduce them into our groups and I tell my coaches, you sign someone up, like once again, welcome in the group. This group is your group and let's all like make everyone feel that community. That first month is like make it or break it, guys. Like it truly is. Like you got to remember, this is so foreign to them. And they're going to get really uncomfortable, like really fast, because that's why they joined anyway. They're uncomfortable with something. They're not happy with where they're at, like whatever it is. Like it's hard to say, like, I'm going to commit to myself. We've all been there and done that. So that frequent follow-up is going to be really key. We don't just want to sign them up, send them a welcome email, and then throw them in the group and be like, peace, have a good time, because you're gonna get the cancellation like pronto, and you're going to probably get it before that next one. And that doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone, because that's not what these people deserve. And you don't want that for your team. So follow up with them frequently, whatever that means for you. What I do in Google Streak is the day they sign up, once they get that same day, I go in and I have a 1 week email, 2 week, 3 week, and 4 week email that I have put together that is kind of covering, like one is more focused on nutrition, one is focused on whatever they got, whether it was Shakeology and diving into that, or one is specific to performance line and checking in with them on that. So whatever it is, I do have kind of a standard thing that I do, but kind of covers these things. And with a call to action at the end. Now you're always going to get people that won't respond. That's just normal. And then you're going to get people that always will respond. But I actually pre-schedule those the day they sign up. So I just know Susie got performance line, and basically 1 week later, I pre-schedule the 1 week check-in with that. And then I go in and I do the 2 week check-in, and I do the 3 week check-in, and then the 1 month, woo, you know, you did it type thing. I put those in there as a way for them to know every week I am going to be sending them an email as a check-in, because whether they start going off, maybe that email is going to pull them back in. Once again, not all things will cover, but I love the pre-scheduling, just like we do in our Facebook groups, because I don't have to think about it. It's done, like right off the bat that first month. And then I usually put one in, a reminder 2 weeks after that as like another kind of check-in, because I think you need to handhold them. And then I'll also try to like tag them in things, or like voice message, how you doing? How's the first week going? Like kind of keep list of who signed up with you this month, and just go through, and just a message takes a hot second. How'd the first week go? What'd you think? Da, 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 da. Because you want a lot of that support, so that if they are having issues, you can help them with that, because if they have issues, they're gonna stop again. So we just really need to like be there so that they continue. Because if they feel amazing after that first month or two, they're gonna keep going. You know, they're more likely to keep going and stop giving up, because they're gonna get results, versus those that just are struggling and haven't even started, and it's been a month into it. So we talked about systems. Google Streak, you can do whatever system you want. There's a lot of different options that are out there. I do Google Streak. I don't know why. I think there was like a million calls about this at one point, team calls, and then I just jumped on the bandwagon, and I heard it was free, and I was like, okay, that sounds great. What I personally like with this is that I use this for my weekly newsletters and everything, because everyone's email is in here. So like I literally just click buttons and can send like 400 emails in like 20 seconds, like after I put things together. Like it's just very easy for me. And if you see, like, I'm just put this in there. This is not obviously Beachbody related, but I basically have mine set up as like their name, their, you know, first and last name. I built their stages as like sent info, free lead, enrolled, or I'll put like active coach, preferred customer, same thing under Brian's account, same thing under my second CBC. So I start keeping track of where all these people are. If I did a free group, their names are going in here, because that's where their email contacts are. So I can keep going back. I'm going to have what they signed up with. I put in their, like I said, email, and all you have to do is go into their box and literally pre-schedule things, or just check in with them, or the weekly newsletters that, you know, all of us kind of see between Dana and I doing. Like all they do is click them all off, all the boxes, and it's going. So it's very easy to input them, and it takes a hot second. So if you just create this, we can always do a call, or just like working hour time for those that want to just kind of log in together, and we can show you like how ours looks and just dive in. I mean, you just need their contact information. Once you get over a certain amount, then you can buy to be able to send an email, like a large group. So I bought that now, but other than that, it's been free the whole time, and it's very easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have the paid membership now too, because it maxed me out at like a certain amount.
Yeah.
But I similarly have like the categories of people that have done free groups. I have a category. I personally, and I'll be happy to explain, before I ever get to the part of signing somebody up, I always send people a questionnaire form. That's how I talk to people about their goals. I know some people like that, some people don't. For the longest time, I never did that. I did just talk in Facebook conversations or whatever. I personally find, for me, I like the questionnaire, because then I always have their information. I have their email, their name, their phone number. I have like specifics of their goals, their struggles, their needs, what they like, what they don't like. It makes it a lot easier for me to follow up. And I also have just gotten in the habit, since I have their email, I take the email from the form and I put it in my list of people to follow up with. So every single time I have, like, say, gut protocol or a new program coming or a new product, and maybe there's someone that, you know, didn't sign up at that time, it's super easy to go check back in and be like, hey, I know we talked 3 months ago and you struggled with XYZ, because I have it right there in my form. I think this gut protocol that's coming up, this group, I'd love to chat with you about it. I think reading over the things you want to work on, this might be a great fit for you. So it makes it a lot easier for me to go back to those things, because I have a very like systemized approach. And I collect an email right from the get-go. And I think I always kind of felt awkward of like, if you're just talking to somebody about a program, a product, you send them a YouTube video about something, and then maybe the conversation goes dead. And it's not always easy to like restart that conversation, right? But whereas with an email, I already have their email. I can invite them to every little thing that comes up. And at some point, a lot of the people finally respond and be like, oh, this is something I'm really interested in, right? It gives you another like angle to check back in and follow up with people with a whole lot of ease, I guess, is what I would say.
Yeah.
So with these two, so you use the Google Docs for your questionnaire, correct?
Yes.
No,
Okay, so-
I use Google Forms.
Google
So
Forms.
if you
Google
so like
Forms.
when you're in your Gmail account, like on my desktop, and you click
Mhm.
that little, it's like, it looks like 9 squares in the top right corner on mine anyways.
Mhm.
It'll give you a drop down and it'll say all like Google Docs, Google Forms, Google,
Okay.
like Google everything. And the forms are so easy. You click form,
Yeah.
like you add the sections, you could do multiple choice, you could do short answer, long answer. I'll share mine again in the team page. So if you want to just like literally copy paste exactly
Okay.
what I have in it, you can.
That's cool.
Um,
I'll get in there and play with it as well. But do Google Streak and the Google Forms and Google Docs, do they all correspond with one another?
Yes.
they
Or-
probably do, but
Okay.
I don't know how to set that up. I'm not that fancy.
That's
They all-
I copy paste the email into my streak.
Yeah, no, you can't, I don't know how to pull like from the Google form that we get, or like their info automatically going into this, but what I, like, you have the Google forms, you could have a coaching one, like a challenge group one, whatever it is, so that's like the link that you would put in your bio, right? So that people have a way to contact you and the people that connect with you outside of just a poll or outside of just reaching out. Whenever they have responded and filled out one of your forms, you get an email to say they filled it out, and I just take that email and drop it into my Google Streak and said sent info, and it was like type 1 group or all women's group. So, but it's all in one place. Like when I log into my Gmail, it's a tab for Gmail. Within my Gmail is a drop down. See how like this, there's the inbox, but then below it'll say pipelines,
Yeah.
and then your Google Streak is right in there. So all in one place.
Yeah.
But document wise, Google Forms and Google Docs are in the 9 little bubbles up top, but it's all within Google, all within Gmail, Google, like all of that. So you don't have to go to like all these different places.
And my other time saving hack is if there's anything I know I'm going to be using often, I just bookmark the tab. So I don't have to like go into Gmail, go down to forms, click it, go find the form. I literally, when I have the screen open, I just click bookmark tab. So when I'm in my browser and I click bookmarks, I have everything there. My new customer welcome emails, my PDFs, my forms, my literally anything you can imagine that I need to like grab and send is all right there, bookmarked. So it's easy to find.
So you guys should do that. Make that a thing. It won't take long to do, guys. Okay. So we're inviting, we're building, we're doing all those things, right? All the basic building things to be able to grow. And the first big thing or first ranking or step in your business that you'll always hear us kind of talking about is hitting Emerald. Emerald really is super simplified, you guys. It is you plus 2 people. So it's any two people that you think would benefit from this. So basically, but they have to, customers don't count towards your rank. So a lot of us, I feel, and maybe Dana can kind of speak to this, is since they did the whole changeover of like customer, and before we used to sign a lot of people up as a coach, but really that was like discount coach. It's what we kept kind of calling it. And then now we have this customer, preferred customer, and coach title. So I feel like I'm signing up way more customers than I ever did before, which I don't think is a bad thing for some things, especially when certain things I think is fine. But customers will not count towards your ranking. So that just basically means as a customer, you're earning their income from whatever you're selling for commissions, but you're never going to earn residual income from customers. So it's great if we're building a lot of customers, but the goal is eventually to be able to turn them over into preferred customers or active coaches, because this is where your residual income will come and you will continue to build, so that weeks that you don't, honey, I don't know where it is, weeks that you don't sell anything, like no one signs up with anything with you and you're on vacation somewhere, sitting your ass under a palm tree and you are doing nothing. Your team underneath you, for all the people that are coaches and preferred customers, as they're getting their products, you're building this residual income and you're still earning money by doing, I say nothing, but you know what I mean? I'm just trying to say, like, this is how most coaches end up earning like all their money. So it's really important to try to get to Emerald, you know, whenever you can. Ideally, we say like ASAP. So look towards who would it be? So I will share right after. I signed up my husband day one. Now, granted, not everyone has a spouse, not everyone, you know, has someone they can do that with, and that's understandable, or financially if you can't do it, but we'll go into why in a moment, why I chose to do him first. But Emerald basically is the first rank because of that residual income. You also are allowed, once you do that, to earn these leads. So like every month we get all these free leads, especially as we're hitting Success Club, whether they're Shakeology leads, whether they're, you know, just regular free leads, of ways to connect with people that are signing up through Beachbody. But then they're all, anytime someone signs up through Beachbody, they're automatically given a coach. Well, you're going to be that coach for some of the people. So there's new people that you can connect with and form with that way, but you don't get that until you've hit Emerald. So you can't, there's no free leads, there's no residual income. So it's really important to see, like, who can I do that? Mom and husband, my best friend, my sister, my cousin, you know, who are two people that you could be able to go for that? And once again, they don't have to actively work the business. They could be a preferred customer, because preferred customer counts towards your ranking. They do pay that $15.95 monthly coach fee, but they also get 25% off everything moving forward. So you're not going to technically sign someone up as a preferred customer or coach if they're not getting anything, unless you're just having them there to hold their spot, you know, but it's people that are getting products, you know, because they're going to save on that. And if they're not getting products, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I was going to say, I always offer to people if they want to sign up as a preferred customer or as a customer. And a lot of people are like, well, what does that even mean? And I'm like, it's kind of like a Costco membership. Like, you pay a little bit up front, but you get a discount on the things that you are getting consistently. And they often, like, if they've added, say, Energize onto their challenge pack or something, they're getting that discount from the jump. So a lot of times it ends up being, I don't know, better for them that way. They might spend the $15 up front, but they're going to save like 20, 30 bucks on whatever it is they have in their cart. And I just wanted to chime in on the like to see the big picture of this. Like, Kelly, were you done on this screen? Was it the next one that
Next one.
no, not this
Oh,
one.
maybe the one after.
I
There.
just want to go to this one really fast and then you can go back through the rest of it. But what Kelly was saying about like this, like, compounds over time, and it's the beauty of a business like this, the ability to grow residual income, right? And I think that oftentimes we really like over overcomplicate this business. Like, yes, there's a lot to learn. Yes, you have to create systems. Yes, you have to learn how to like network and connect and share and all these things. But in essence, this whole business is about duplication. It's literally like you learning how to do something, you feeling confident doing well, you finding other people that are interested in what it is you're doing, fitness, nutrition, coaching, whatever, and then sharing and teaching them how to do it, and them going forth and doing the same thing. It's like a rinse, wash, repeat of duplicating the very basic things. And the trickiest part is the being consistent of the doing of the things, right? For it to grow over time. And so with Emerald, yes, it is 2 people, and it might just be like, oh, like that's simple, no big deal. But if you think about it in the grand scheme of this business, knowing that it's all about duplication, if you're able to get yourself to Emerald, it means that you are able to have enough of a conversation with somebody to learn how to help them with their goals, to get them interested in what you're doing, and to help them sign up and get started on their journey, right? If you're able to do that, you're able to teach it. If you're able to like sign somebody up, coach them through, get them results, you're able to teach other people how to do that. And even more so, you're able to then teach someone who's interested in the business how to get themselves to Emerald. Emeralds build volume. Volume builds income, and it also builds impact. Like I put at the bottom, like when you help 2 people, that's just you helping 2, right? But if you go find 2 people, like I go find a Robin and a Kelly, and they love this just like I do, and they learn how to do this just like I do, they go out and help 2 people, and then they teach 2 people, and they help 2 people, right? And like the impact is just, it begins to have a ripple effect on people that you never could have reached by yourself. And it also builds that ripple effect of really like growing yourself a solid foundation of a business, of people who love Beachbody, people who want to engage in your communities, and people who are learning the business. So like, I just wanted to like put this in there to just say like, don't go like overlook Emerald. Emerald is a big deal because it means you're really learning the basics of how to duplicate what it takes to do whatever it is you really want to do in this business, any goal, big or small. Okay.
Okay.
Go
So
back.
of course, just going through, I do want to add though, because we have to make sure that in order for you to be Emerald, once again, you plus 2 people, that those people are actively active. So if one of them is an active account basically means within a 35-day period, they're getting 50 PV or more. So for instance, Shakeology is 90 PV. Boom. If they get their monthly Shakeology, so once again, going back to having them have a great experience with it that first month and continuing, helping them figure out the recipes they might like all the things if they're not someone that loves it initially, sharing that value. If they're getting their Shakeology every single month, they're going to be active. If they're getting their performance stack every single month, they're going to be active. If they're switching things up and they're getting, beach bars and Energize, collagen, okay, great, they're going to be active. But they have to be getting something each month that is 50 personal volume points or more in order for their account to be active. So if you have 2 people underneath you right now and they got a challenge pack, and then so right now you become Emerald. If next month one of them goes inactive and you don't have anyone else there, even though they're there, their account is inactive because they put something on hold or they didn't get that next thing because they didn't like it. Now you don't have Emerald. Now, once again, we all go like this in ranks. So you will lose rank sometime and then you'll get it back, and then you lose rank sometime and then next week you get it back. So like, don't freak out about that because that will happen. But it kind of goes back to what Dana was saying of continuously building, because if one person goes, you're just going to keep trying to get a strong system. So I know personally, I start going back and forth when people are new. So my coaches, please tell me when you sign people up as preferred customer or coaches, because I keep looking for you kind of on the back side to say, okay, place it on your right side, place it on your left side, like going back and forth until you feel more comfortable. Because you can have 3 people, 3 preferred customers on your left leg and none on your right leg, and you are not Emerald, because it's all about kind of our left and right legs. So I put down below here, don't forget, after you sign up your first person as a coach or a preferred customer, we need to then go in and change your leg placement to the other side. I encourage people to do that like right away. So that way, the next time they sign someone up, they don't have to remember that and they don't have to forget. If you did forget, once again, tell your coach just in general when you're signing those people up, because you have like a window, like X amount of day window that we could go in and have the company switch it for you. But we need left, right, and just keep teetering back and forth until you build a strong kind of Emerald and you're working your way to Diamond. And you guys, like Emerald versus Diamond, when it comes to these cycle bonuses that we were talking about, like this residual income, is when you're Emerald, every time you cycle, you earn $14 for cycling. Every time if you're a Diamond, you earn $18. And that might not seem like a very big difference, but it actually can really add up. Like today, I think, I don't know, I just looked to kind of see for reference here, my cycle bonusing for this week was $200. And once again, that's not what I earned with all the other stuff. That was just for my residual income. And there's a lot of weeks my residual income is most of my income for the week. It's not what I have done or done a challenge pack. So if you have a good amount of cycles that you're kind of going, if you're Diamond, you get a lot more, you know, it keeps growing. So just because you hit Emerald, Emerald's 1, but then we're continuously trying to grow, because really, you really want to get to Diamond, and then you really want to get to 2 stars. So don't just say, I got to Emerald, and then you're done. We want to keep that momentum going to continuously build. Because if you can do Emerald, 2 people, guess what? You can do another 2 people. And then guess what? You can do another 2 people. And guess what? You can do another 2 people. And guess what? We're basically getting to Diamond. So like, don't.
And you can teach 2 people to help 2 people and have more emeralds. That creates a really solid diamond. So yeah, it's really that, like the stacking and the duplicating.
Yeah. And I will say, looking at this too, like if you're looking at Diamond, under Diamond, so the green is obviously that you have 2 emeralds underneath you. One of the reasons why I put my husband, and there's a lot of talk, you know, once again, doesn't always work this way, but the reason why I put my husband under me as a first person is because I have basically another me that I'm in control of. So when I was looking to get to Diamond, I basically had my husband's account that I could control. I need 2 people that I'm going to place under him. So that's up to me. I'm going to sign 2 people up under him and make him an emerald. Well, there's 1 emerald right there. So that's my control. Now I just really needed 1 more emerald. So that's 1 person that I'm going to work towards to see, can they help, you know, do they want to have a great experience and sign 2 people up? You know, so when you have that kind of control over you plus another person, it's a little bit easier to kind of figure out when you're trying to work towards Diamond or different rankings versus putting everything out there for, you know, just I say relying on other people to do it. I mean, it is to a degree, but it is nice to know, like, I now have another person that I can kind of put wherever I want and kind of change things up wherever I want. Cause it's, and I know Dana, I don't think you did do that, right? So like, you're different when it comes to that.
Well, I mean, I swear for years, I was like, I just need a husband so I can use his account. Like, I signed my mom up when I first started. Her account was the account that I used to build one of my emeralds when I first got to Diamond. And inevitably she had no desire for you know, me to use her account ongoing. So at some point it just fizzled out, and she, you know, it's just a Chickology customer. But I would say you also have the ability to sign up your spouse and just pay the coach fee just to hold their spot, even if you don't intend to actually like work their account right now, is a really smart thing to do. So it's at the top of your downline, and I'll like attempt to simply explain why. So can you see my mouse when I do this? Can you see my mouse when I do that? Okay, so what, say this was me 8 years ago when I was brand new, right? I can go into my first business center because I have two, and I can look at the people who are like right here at the top. Okay. And I have a girl who is a good friend of mine that signed up in this spot. She, was kind of an ongoing customer on and off for years. She was a coach for a short bit of time. It just wasn't really her jam. But the thing is, if she ever wanted to be a coach, she would crush it because all of the volume that I've accrued down here, under here, since 8 years ago when she signed up is under the volume of her one leg, if that makes sense. It's like you have to picture it like the leg that you're putting your spouse on up here, right? That when you sign up a customer, a preferred customer, a coach, an active coach that helps more people, like it's literally trickling down the line, right? It's essentially like putting a bunch of money in a bank account that you can't take out unless you sign people up against it to earn cycle bonuses. It's probably a little too complicated, but what I'm trying to say is it's like investing in yourself from the get-go that has a lot of income earning potential down the road because of the volume that you're going to be building as you build your business, as you help customers, as you find coaches that want to work the business. Like I always look at the people that are signed up at the top of my account and I'm like, gosh, I wish you would just be open-minded to coaching because they have so much volume that I've built by sitting there and don't use it. So it's just to say, like, if you have the ability to sign your spouse up or whoever, put them at the top and just pay the business fee if you don't want to work it or you don't want to order product, just to hold that space.
And the other thing, guys, is think about the stuff that you use for Beachbody. So like I get my Shakeology and like a box of, I don't even know, I think a box of Beach Bars or something like that under me. So there's my personal volume points. But of course, like I'm obsessed with Energize and like I use collagen and I have all the other stuff. And so I just put that under my husband. So he gets that stuff underneath him. So when he gets that, I earn money because he's getting stuff under me, but we're just divvying up where the products go so that it's not all under me. So it's easy, like, because I'm using it anyway. Don't overcomplicate it when it be like, well, my husband have another account. Just get the coach fee, pay the $15.95 monthly coach fee to have him there as one of the first people. And then whatever you're getting, say, okay, make sure my account's active, but can I put the rest of the stuff as long as it's this amount, PV more, just get it under them. You earn money under that too. It's like a no-brainer.
Just say, and you get the commission.
You get commission, I get commission off of him getting it. So I'm like, why not? Rather than put it all under me.
Yeah.
You guys, I do want to go to the next screen. And Dana, can you click on this video? Will it pop up to do a video in there? You guys, this is 2 minutes. It's kind of going by what Dana said, but this is the video that made it click for me. And I just really want you to see and hear this, because if you don't know why your husband shouldn't be there, or like your mom or someone really close, then this video will explain it.
At my back office. And I want to take just a couple of minutes and explain to you why, if you're married, it is really important that you sign your spouse up right away as a coach. Now, I know you're a new coach. You're not going to understand the ins and outs of it. So this is going to be one of those situations that it's imperative that you trust us, that you know that we have your best interest at heart, and we don't want you to make the same mistake that many of us made who've been around for a while.
Yeah.
I've been a coach for over 7 years now. And when I first became a coach, I didn't want to do the business. And so I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't sign my husband up right away. 7 years later, that is costing us a lot of money. And I want to show you really quick. So here I am, and I have a right and a left leg directly under me, just like you do. Once these spots are taken, once there's a coach in those spots, you can't get them back. Once I wised up and wanted to sign my husband up, these spots were taken. So my husband ended up right here underneath Hope, not directly under me. You don't think that's a big deal, but it is a big deal because this leg over here of Hope's grew like crazy with tons of coaches. My husband doesn't benefit from any of that. Hope right here as a diamond coach is maxing out at $2,000 a week at this point, 7 years later. If that would have been flip-flopped, if I would have signed my husband up right away, my husband instead would be benefiting from all the coaches over here and be making $2,000 a week. When you multiply that out, $2,000 a week times 52 weeks, that is $104,000 a year. That is a mistake. That's an over $100,000 mistake that I made 7 years ago. I didn't know I was making it, but it is costing us now. I don't want it to cost you. So I want you to please trust us. As soon as you're done watching this video, if you have not signed your spouse, go and sign your spouse. Make sure your spouse has one of the positions directly under you. This is something that can really, really behoove you in the future as you grow your business. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Behoove. It will behoove you.
Right? Behoove. But it's one of the first two, guys. So that's why, like, so many of you as being newer coaches, like, well, a bunch of new coaches, like, just sign them up. Even like you said, even if Dana says right now you don't want to get anything underneath him for any reason,
to do a great thing.
Hold on.
If you're waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect
Like,
timing,
I don't know what happened.
you know what you have to do? Create the perfect time
Needed some
and the perfect
motivation.
opportunity and
right?
the
So even if you have them just pay the $15.95 coach fee and that's it, just do it until you're ready to use them. And he can go inactive, whatever, as long as they keep doing that, then it's there. So then when you need him to be the diamond, like my husband was my diamond that got me to NLC. I was in the driver's seat. I didn't have to rely on other people to try to get to diamond. Like it was in my ballpark to say, and what I ended up doing was anytime I hit Success Club, I would hit Success Club and put everyone else under my husband. Like I just started piling people to build his account because I wanted to get another diamond. He was my second diamond when I hit 2-star because I was in control of his. I didn't have to have someone else.
Brian.
Go Brian. Actually, can you imagine like if he then gets a free trip to NLC because like I get like, I'm like, really? Like, what's this all about? He was like, he got a thing. I became diamond. Did you know that? I get something in the mail. I'm like, yes, I do, honey. I've been. So these are the types of things that if you can, and if you can't, then even like potentially a parent or a sibling, it's a great option. And if it's not an option, you can still grow your business and grow massively and do wonderfully because there's plenty of people that do it. But we just want you to see like after those 2 slots are gone, they're gone. All right, guys. So, all right, spouse.
Oh, and I just want to mention this as well. You would ideally like to place them on your weak leg, at the top of your weak leg. If you don't know what your weak leg is, ask your coach. It is the leg opposite of the leg you are on underneath your coach. So I'm trying to think off the top of my head where you're at, Robin. I think you're on my second business center right leg, I believe. So your left leg should be your weak leg, meaning it is the leg that you are essentially building all by yourself. Like we showed you this graphic. Where did this go? So like, say you put your spouse right here, right? Now, so everyone you sign up on that same leg, on your right leg, is accruing the volume on that leg. And this leg is the leg that doesn't have the volume coming from you. Does that make sense? So you want to put them on whatever leg it is that doesn't have a lot of volume, because then you have more ability to control the growth of that, which then will create a more balanced cycle bonus for you to earn more income. And we can have a whole nother call on this because I feel like it's too much to like throw it in on an emerald explanation, but just know that, like that video says, it will behoove you.
And I did that wrong. So Brian's on my strong leg. So I got all when I first started. So it stinks. So just once again, go to your coach. Let them know, like, as you're doing these things, we'll figure it out. We'll help you out. But mine's all bass backwards. And even my person, my corporate sponsor was like, what the hell happened here? I'm like,
Nobody asked me about that one, or I would have told you different.
I was like, I don't know. I just signed them up. So anyway,
We
keep cooking.
kind of already covered this, but just the
Guys,
difference. Yeah.
You guys can literally just share, if you're unsure like how to state the difference, you can always, once again, as you're signing people up, say like, I just want to say, would you prefer me signing you up as a customer, or would you like me to sign you up as a preferred customer? Here's a little bit more information about the differences, but basically you pay a monthly coach fee, just like Dana said. It's just like a Costco membership, and you get 25% off everything moving forward. You can still cancel at any time, so on and so forth. But if you would like to do this, just let me know which one. And if
Yeah. And I was going to say, just keep in mind that if there's someone that is probably just going to like sign up, take their challenge pack and cancel and just use your Beachbody on demand and never buy another product, they're probably not the person that needs that, right? This is for the people that are like, I want to get energized every month, or I want to try beach bars, or I want to try collagen or whatever, because they're really going to benefit from having the ability to get that discount.
And connect with those people. Like you said, like even if they sign up as a customer, they're having a killer first month and they're loving the products, and you're connecting with them and you're helping them love the products. Connect with them before their next shipment comes, and just say, hey, I know you've been like raving about how Shakeology, you've been loving it, like how much it's been helping you. Like, I just wanted to let you know before it comes, you could sign up as a preferred customer and you'll be able to get 25% off your Shakeology moving forward. Like, is that something you're interested in? Because then they might want to, and now you have another person adding to your ranking, or going towards your ranking. So reach back out to them, because they don't know until you let them know.
Yeah. So I added this on as like a tag on in the end. It kind of like brings us full circle back to what we were saying about like creating that system from the get-go. As soon as someone signs up, you are sending a welcome email, you're welcoming them into your community. And I personally now, I go through my coach office every week and I add all of my customer leads to my email system. I add all of my customers. I personally use Streak and Mailchimp. Mailchimp was what I started using first. Like Kelly said, there's a lot of different options of what you could do. It's just whatever. I personally always liked Mailchimp because it looks prettier. Like you can create a template that has like a picture of you or your logo or whatever. You can add pictures much more easily to your emails. They just look really like pretty and professionally when they show up in your inbox, right? So if you don't care about this stuff, it doesn't matter. It's the same information. I learned how to set up my system probably 5 years ago with Mailchimp. It's also very simple and user friendly. You can save templates. So if you start doing like a new customer welcome email, you can just save the template right in there and then just go in and add the person and automatically send it. Why I like Streak is it has a lot easier of an option to send, like if there's just one specific group of people I want to send it to, like in my Mailchimp, it's just customers and just coaches. There's no like separation of anything. In Google Streak, you can create as many tabs as you want. So like we said, you can have people who filled out my form, people who've been in a free group. You can have people who've engaged with me on Instagram about challenge groups, whatever. You can add so many different things. And I like that because in my brain, when something new is coming down the hatch, say like gut protocol, and I start thinking, who do I think could benefit from a program like this? Who have I talked to that I know has autoimmune or inflammation or like gut issues, bloating, whatever? And I can go back through those forms and specifically look and think like, who might this benefit, right? And then we have the simple ability in Streak. You just click the couple boxes of the people that you want to send something to connect to, and it just makes it so simple. I mainly just, again, wanted to mention this, like I said earlier, if you start this from the get-go, it's going to save you so much time, so much energy, instead of like checking on everyone one by one, inviting everything, new challenge groups or new products, programs, one by one. you just grab the email that, I post all my emails in the team page every week. If there's like an email I send out about a launch of something, I always share it. You can always feel free to take anything that I share from my emails if you like how I word things or you want to take the information. I literally, for my emails, I do a weekly email. It's how I stay connected to all my people. I send a weekly meal plan. You're welcome to take those as well. I started sharing them in Action Takers most of the time. So if you want to take it, you can use it. I send like a tip or kind of like a challenge. Like my email today was all about like making self-care a priority for May. Talking about different ways that you could do that, just kind of the importance of it before summer's busy. It's really nothing special. They take me about 10 or 15 minutes to come up with the emails. I often just like grab a recipe off the Beachbody blog or something like a fun Shakeology recipe or whatever. I pop it all in the email. I click the button for all the columns and boom, out goes an email to like 700 something people in a manner of 15 minutes versus if I were to attempt to send something like that to everybody separately. So it is a really great way to like stay connected to your people as you start to help more people, because in the beginning, when you have say like 5-10 customers, it's pretty simple to keep up and keep track and stay connected. As you start to grow and have more and more and more people, it's literally impossible to have that like connection. And to me, I wanted to grow my business to full time. I wanted the income. I wanted the time freedom. I wanted to help a ton of people and find women that love this just like I did and make a big impact. But I also knew I never wanted to be one of those people who like ditched out on my business and like didn't give people like quality, like if you need me, I'm always going to answer, whether it's text or email or whatever. Like I may not always be online, but do you get what I'm saying? Like it created a simple way for me to stay connected, add value, share with people what's up and coming, what they have the ability to join, take part in, without the like hours and hours and hours of doing that. So if that is something that's important to you too, to like add value and stay connected to your people, starting an email system now is a really easy habit to create. Like I said, it takes you 10 or 15 minutes. Shoot out an email that you think would be helpful or address something you're hearing a lot of, just like posts like, are you hearing that people are struggling to stay consistent with nutrition on weekends? Are people struggling to get up in the morning? Are you like a Robin that gets up super early and you're like the consistency queen of morning workouts? Like send out a tip on how it is that you do that. Like, what are your 5 tips on how to create a morning routine for fitness that you love? It might be as simple as like, lay your workout clothes, hop in bed early, have a workout program you're excited to engage in, have a group you're accountable to, right? Like super simple. I just came up with that in 10 seconds, but it's really great tips that help people. And that's the beauty of an email system. You have a very simple way to get impactful, helpful information and connection to a lot of people in literally the click of a button. And if you create that system now, you're going to thank yourself for forever instead of beating yourself up like we did because we didn't start with doing that. So, and like Kelly said, if you guys want to have like our next team call, if you want on more in-depth on like income or more in-depth on like how to build an email system like Streak or Mailchimp. So it's simple. We'd be more than happy to do that. We love your feedback on what you want for team calls too, just so you know.
I know Kelly, you kind of recorded yourself doing it. But it would be great to, and Melissa, she couldn't hop on, but she said the same thing, that we need hand holding to like, okay, this is what you do first, and this is what you do first.
Yeah.
So like doing an actual call and setting all that up would be like so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
let's plan that, Kelly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger thing is when it works for you guys. So, and when we're all able to do it, whether it's just a random time, you know, whatever, or we can also do a couple of us, you know, a couple of rounds, or we can even record what we did. So then when we get in, we can then share it with other people that if they couldn't hop on, they could.
Kelly, if you wanted to, I'm gonna stop recording.